Hey, what's up, family? Welcome back to FicklinTV. I'm Amber, and today we'll be discussing my 24 to 25 week pregnancy update. Baby is about 13 inches long, about the size of or length of a rutabaga, and a pound and a half in weight. Some symptoms I've been experiencing these past 2 weeks have been cramping in my feet, like right on the arch of my foot. I'll have like a cramp, and it's just random, like if I'm laying down or sometimes throughout the day I'll get like a spasm and my foot will like start cramping. Now, I have experienced Charlie horses in previous pregnancies, so I'm not really looking forward to that, but it's to be expected with the low circulation or blood moving only really towards my belly and not to my extremities. I've also noticed that I have poorer circulation in my limbs, my arms and legs. So if I'm sitting in one place for a very long time, my arms will begin to tingle or my fingers will begin to tingle like they're going to sleep. That happens quite often, so I have to move around a lot. Like if I'm relaxing or laying down, I have to like move to a new position more often. I'm also feeling a lot more stronger movements than before. I can now start to see the baby kick through my belly, so my stomach will jump when he or she is moving now, and it's really cool to see that. He or she still has a lot more space to grow, but the movements are a lot stronger and we can actually see them now versus me just saying, oh, here, feel. You can actually see the baby moving, so that's fun. Another symptom I've been having is my eczema is now showing up. Whenever I get pregnant, I start to experience eczema right in my chest, like between my breasts. I get really patchy and dry skin, and that is one of my hot spots that I put my perfume, like I spray perfume there a lot, but I have stopped doing that because of the eczema. I don't want it to get worse than it is. I do treat it with like a coconut oil or fragrance-free soap, where I'll just clean it with water because it can get kind of ugly and I don't really like that. So that is something that I'm starting to deal with. And I know a lot of pregnant women deal with like discoloration on their necks or just in random places all over, but that is one thing that I usually get in every single pregnancy. And my last symptom, the crazy symptom, would be crazy dreams. Like I have like the weirdest, most outrageous dreams that anyone can ever experience. Like sometimes I wake up and I'm like, what in the world was I dreaming about? Like, how did I even get these things in my mind? Like, so that's just something that comes along with pregnancy. I've experienced it every single time. So today I wanted to talk about how to prepare your older children for the new baby, because not only will this baby affect you and your spouse, but it's also going to be a new addition to your family. And if you have one child, two children, or more, they have to be just as prepared for the baby as you are. So the way you're going to approach telling your child about the new baby is really going to depend on his or her age. How you approach this subject with a school-age child, a child 2 to 4, and a child that's a baby is going to be very different on so many levels. But the tips I'm going to give are universal and they can be used for everyone. The first thing I would say is tell them as soon as possible, or at least drop as many hints as soon as possible. If you've already made it to your second trimester, which I'm pretty sure you have if you're watching this video, you're going to start showing, and your baby or your child is going to notice that mommy is changing. If you haven't sat down and had that conversation, I would definitely say that now is about the time to tell them they're going to be an older sibling. The more information that you can give about the pregnancy and birth of the baby, the better, because they won't be left in the dark about anything. My second tip would be to include them in conversation. So when you talk about the baby, say our baby or your little brother or your little sister. Terms like that will help to make the child feel like they're not being excluded from the process of bringing baby home. A great tip that worked for my child that is 2 to 4 or babies is to read books about becoming siblings or about babies. The more you can expose them to what is a baby, what do babies need, what do babies do, the better, because they'll have a better understanding. Another great tip is to bring in dolls. Children learn through play, and if you bring in a baby doll and at least show the younger one how to hold the baby or how to hold the baby gently, if they are like still younger than 2 years old, they won't really understand the concept of how to hold a baby. But if you show them this is how we, touch a baby, we're gentle with it, we kiss a baby, that will give them a general idea of how they are to act when the baby actually does get here. They can take this baby with them, it can become their own, and they can treat it like that until the new baby comes. Another great way to include your older child is to take them on to doctor's visits with you. If possible, you should let them come so that they can hear the baby's heartbeat, and that'll also help them to feel like they're a part of this process as well. My final tip would be to affirm the child's place in your family. No one likes to feel excluded. No one wants to feel like their place is going to be taken. And unfortunately, when so much attention is being given to this new baby that's coming, you're buying things for the baby, everyone is talking about the baby every time they see you, your older child can't help but feel like my place is going to be taken and I'm not the center of attention anymore. So it's very important to constantly give positive affirmations and let your older child know that our family wouldn't be our family if you weren't in it, if you weren't included in it, you wouldn't be here. Another great way to include them is to help them pick out furniture for the new nursery, or let them help pick out new clothes for the baby, or even if you're discussing the baby's name, let them have an input as well. All of these things are going to be a great way to help keep your older child happier and excited about this new baby that's coming. I will say, even with all of these tips, bringing a new baby into your family is going to be a heck of an adjustment, not only for you, but also for everyone in the family. So you still may have that sibling rivalry that comes when baby gets here, but the best thing you can do is prepare your oldest child for their new sibling as much as possible. So if you're a parent of 2 or more or 1 or more, comment some ways below that you are preparing your oldest child for their new sibling. So let's jump into my belly shot. So here's what my belly looks like from the front with clothes on, from the side, from the back. Here's the other side. Here's my belly from the front with clothes off. Gosh, I'm always showing you guys panties. From the side. From the back. Here's the other side. And the front again. You can kind of see my linea negra showing. Not so much at the top, and it's always been like not perfect, but it never really went away after I had my son, so I never gave it a chance. Oh, one more thing that I wanted to say too was a symptom. We went to our 24-week pregnancy appointment, doctor's appointment, midwife appointment, and we were really worried that I was actually measuring too small, because I ran into some other moms and they were like huge in comparison to my stomach, like really showing. And I was nervous. I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe I'm not measuring correctly. But when we went to our appointment, she said I'm measuring perfectly fine. Everything was good. So that's another thing I wanted to talk about, and I almost forgot, but please don't compare yourself to other pregnant moms. And I say this to myself as I'm saying it to you, because I have the tendency to do that. Even though it's the 4th time around, everybody carries different. Everybody's gonna look different in their pregnancy. Heights are different. The baby size is different. So just try not to compare. As I'm telling you this, I'm telling myself, but just try not to do that, because you can get yourself really upset, and especially if people are like, oh, you're so small or you're so big. Know that if your midwife and doctor have said that you are right on target, then you need not worry. So thank you guys so much for joining me for this update. If you aren't already, please go ahead and subscribe. I'd love for you to join me on this journey, and go ahead and tap the bell next to the subscribe button so that you can be notified every time I post an update. See you guys next week. Bye.